What is going on, guys? Let me make sure. Yeah, the mic's good. What is going on? So, Core PCE came out this morning. Honestly, oh, and I want you. Excuse me. Excuse me. Do I have water here? I'll get it later. Where did I put it? I want you guys to tell me if Trump starts speaking again, because I think he's gonna come out and talk, but I think it's tentative. Um, so Core PCE came out in line. Just like I thought, just like I told you guys that I didn't think that Nvidia would save the market. I don't think that Core PCE is going to be the market saver. So I assume that most of you have already I assume that most of you have already watched my last video. Obviously, if you guys are in the Discord, you got my updates. But yeah, I mean, what's what I thought would be playing out at the end of January. I thought we would get a ton of volatility. Obviously, right? February was very volatile, but then when we were sitting at, if I look at QQQ, it's a lot easier, I guess. Did I get a nose job? No, your mom just didn't shave down there, so I got cut up. No, bro, it's a nasal strip. It's because it helps me breathe. I've been feeling under the weather. Um, but when we were sitting, when we first started crossing below the 50-day towards the 100-day, and then we created these three black crows here, right? This pattern we haven't seen in a very long time. So the last time we saw this was 2018. And in 2018, that's when the last tariff war was, right? That's when the last tariff war was, in 2018. And we dropped another 13%. Now, the crazy thing is, what's insane is yesterday we went from the 100-day to the 200-day, right? In one day. And the last time that we saw that was also in 2018. So you have the three black crows here. And this one is even worse than that one, right? You have the three black crows here. And then we went from the 100-day all the way down to the 200-day in one day. And that hasn't happened since then. And then we, had a little bounce, but eventually dropped another 13% before the market bottomed. Now, 2018 was a bull market. And yes, in 2018, there were talks of this being, overvalued and whatnot. We did have those talks. Like, people in 2018, a lot of you weren't trading then, but they were talking about, is a recession coming? Is the market overvalued? But we didn't have the story with rates, and we didn't have the story with inflation, right? Inflation was good. The economy was good. Rates were low. They were near zero. But we did have the Trump tariff wars, which I guess the market didn't know how to handle then. You could say now that we are kind of desensitized to it, but not really, because it's still unpredictable. But the situation is quite worse here, because rates are still near 5%. I think we're still dealing with 4.75, if I'm not mistaken, or 4.5 to 4.75. Let me look at what the let me look. Yeah, so we're at about 450 basis points here in terms of the Fed funds rate, right? And now if you look at what's going to happen in May, the chance for a cut has gone up, and even in June, right? So I think what's going to happen here is, like I told you, I think we're going to get a correction. We're not far from that in the NASDAQ. S&P, scarily enough, is not even 5% down. I don't think. If I look at the SPY real quick. Yeah, we're about 4.6% down from highs, but it feels terrible because the underlying stocks, the Googles, the Nvidias, obviously, the Teslas, they are down, beat pretty bad, right? They are beat pretty bad. But going into March OPEX, the options expiration, if I was looking at that data yesterday, it is typically a very volatile time. So I personally don't think the volatility is gone. You don't get an unwinding like this and then the volatility just disappears forever, right? It did kind of happen in August of 2024, but we weren't dealing with the same stuff we're dealing with now. That, was more of a overvaluation, let's reset, currency scare. The S&P 500 dropped 10% at that point, right? But yeah, I do think we will see violent bounces here. Now, I want to make it clear that just because I think that the chip stocks, for instance, are due for a major unwinding here, I personally do not believe in, just sitting on your hands forever. Like, I gave out the warning in the Discord end of January. Then I gave out the warning again at the beginning of this week in the Discord. If you don't believe me, you can see it here. This right here was January 29th, right? I did a whole write-up. And then beginning of this week, I did a whole 2-part write-up here and why I thought NVIDIA would not save the market, right? So everything's time-stamped there. If you're interested, you can join the Discord below. But, just because I think that's coming, I don't think that someone should sit on their hands forever. I personally was out of short-term positions at the end of January. Now, it doesn't mean that I didn't also play longs in terms of options. Like, I still, took a long at one point on Apple, and then we shorted it. I still took a long on Uber. I took a long on Costco. So I'm not saying that I wasn't in longs, but these are very strategic trades. These aren't swing trades in stocks that I'm just holding and seeing how it plays out. So, I don't believe in not investing. So, for instance, if you give me, Google sitting here at this trend line at, below the 200 MA, like, of course, there are certain things that I want to take, that I want to start buying up here, because you can't, even though I think you can time the market to a certain extent if you're really skilled, I don't think you could time, nobody can time it fully, right? Now, I'm getting a lot of questions as to where or the extent of what I think this market is going to do. Now, you're seeing all these annoying people share that stupid CNN fear and greed index. The problem with that is that there's no measure there. It's just this index here is made for boomers, right? This index here is not made, and shout out to all you boomers out there. I'm a boomer in a lot of ways, but not in this way. This right here doesn't give you anything quantifiable. People like this because it's visual, right? It looks like something that your child can understand. But what I really look at, and I covered this in my video, but one of the things I look at is the put-call ratio. So every single correction that we've had, right, has only ended when the put call ratio got above 1. So everyone's looking at this as extreme fear, and you can see what it measures down here. But in terms of put call ratio, nobody was short the market, right? And when you're short the market, you can see this is the put call ratio in March. This was the exact bottom in March. This was the put call ratio here was the bottom of the correction that I was just talking about in December of 2018, right? You can see here the put call ratio when we had the double dip correction in 2015. You can see the put call ratio spiked, meaning that you're going to have so many puts being bought because the market sentiment is so bad that eventually the put call ratio is going to there's going to be more puts than calls. And then that's when the market is due for a long squeeze, right? That's the change in sentiment. To me, this right here is bullshit. This means nothing. So that's one of the things I'm looking at. Obviously, I'm looking at quite a few things, but it still doesn't, ignore the fact that if Tesla's sitting here at the 200-day, that you shouldn't dollar cost average if you believe in the company. This is not the time to throw money at ticker symbols, right? It's so funny because I did that video and I was saying, you guys make sure that you're sticking to quality stocks. This is the time to pick up quality, right? Because quality stocks don't drop like this often. So these are opportunities here. And all of a sudden the questions come in. Should I buy IONQ? Should I buy Qubits? Should I buy SoFi? Should I buy, guys, quality stocks, right? This is like this. You finally have a moment where you could shift what you've been doing in the market that's been hurting you, right? So most people buy bags of shit at high prices. Like there's someone out there that paid 120 for Palantir, okay? This is now the time for you to fix something that, to me, is pretty easy to fix. I'm not saying it's easy to trade. Trading is a whole different skill. That requires a lot of work. That's a sport that requires a lot of work. I'm saying just from an investor's perspective, right? So, buying quality at major dips like this, as opposed to buying sub-quality at the highs. And even now, if you wanted to, I think the market, in my opinion, I think the market has more to drop. And I think we will see violent bounces, by the way. I think we're going to see very violent bounces. It's going to be very similar to 2018, where you see violent bounces and then more drop, and then violent bounces and then more drop. It's going to be very volatile. Michelle K, appreciate your donation to St. Jude's. Ark, appreciate your donation to St. Jude's. Thank you so much. Can barely hear you. Really? It looks fine. Okay, good, because I wasn't about to repeat that. Okay. I might have stepped away from the mic. My bad. All right. I don't know what else to do, to be honest. It looks like the volume is loud. Let's see if that helps it. I don't know. This might be screaming your ear off right now. Thoughts on not listening to what you just said and asking for thoughts on a specific. Anonymous, appreciate your 10-pound donation. Thank you so much. How about that Bitcoin prediction, guys? I told you about the 70 level. I think I wrote this back in January 9th. Would not be surprised Bitcoin retests 70Ks. Trump is meeting at 11 a.m. with Zelensky. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right. I want to see if I can trade something here. Tesla predictions are mad. Oh, that 270 level? Yeah, I said that back in. I'm telling you guys, man, people spend so much on streaming services. Yeah, a couple weeks ago, more than that. I said that drop to 270 is what I was looking for. But for certain, you could start to, in my view, you could start to dollar cost average here finally, even though I do think Tesla eventually gets to 220 to 200 to 220, in my opinion. But like I said, you will see violent bounces here. Canadian investor, appreciate your donation to St. Jude's. Thank you. I really want to long this soon, but I won't. Not just yet. By the way, day trading in this environment, it is giving you big moves, but for sure, it is not for the faint of heart. VIX going to 0? What the fuck is this guy talking about? How low can Microsoft get? Best entry point? This motherfucker thinks I'm Miss Cleo. Bro, I know that like the analysis is on point, but you also have to contend with the fact that we're not throwing darts on a board here. What is the lowest point? You know, like with ChatGPT now, people have zero excuse. Like people have zero excuse not to take investing seriously. Like, look, this is how I would use if I had zero idea about the markets. You could say, do a discounted cash flow model on Microsoft stock. You know how long it would take someone to do discounted cash flow model? I mean, yes, there's spreadsheets and stuff you can plug into, but you could just literally ask ChatGPT. You can literally just ask ChatGPT and it will give you a DCF valuation. Right? Run a DCF valuation on AMD. And then just read this. Like, take half an hour of your day and read this. Like, start becoming more informed. This is all free shit. It breaks down the entirety of the DCF model. I mean, you could use Grok, bro. Fine. Is that the paid version of ChatGPT? Okay, fine. We can use Grok. Here. And Grok is 100% free. You just need a Twitter account. Run a DCF model on AMD. Grok is even better because it shows you the step-by-step analysis. It'll show you what are the plugins for the DCF model, right? Free cash flow, growth rate, discounted rate, terminal growth, shares outstanding. Look at all this stuff. This is free. It's unbelievable what we have access to now. Right? And then it pops out a sensitivity analysis. So lower terminal growth reduces it to 95 a share. So it's telling you that based on the discounted cash flow model, even if you take a low estimate, 95 is what a good price for AMD is, based on all of these plugins that you can literally take a weekend and start reading, right? If you're targeting higher growth, 120 a share, it's below this. So start doing this stuff. Like, and even if it was paid, right, you're trying to make money. So at some point, like, paid things are not bad, but this is free. I said AMD would fall below 100 in my last video. Okay. And what price did it fall to? What price is it at now? It's at 99. That was my target for a long time. Thoughts on buying Google at this level? What do you like about Google, bro? If you like the company, buy it. Everyone wants to trade with an investor's mindset. This is another thing that you have to fix, right? Everyone wants to trade with an investor's mindset. They don't want to put in the work to be a trader because it is hard, so I don't blame you, right? If that's not your desire to sit in front of the computer for hours at a day, putting in thousands of hours at a chart. But then everyone wants to buy stocks and then act like a trader. Right? Like, I bought this stock, should I exit? Is this a good buy? Is this the low for this? Is this a low for that? You should be buying companies based on their valuations whose business model you believe in. That's really it. But people will work 40 hours, 50 hours a week and then throw their hard-earned money at ticker symbols that they've done zero research on. And then it drops 5%. And then they look around and say, do I hold it? Do not invest with a trader's mindset. If you want to trade, learn how to trade. It's awesome. But most people are not traders. I'm trying to find a setup here. There may be... I wonder where gold is at right now. Where would you start learning about trading if you started today? The internet, bro. You don't need to pay for anything. If you're just starting out, you're going to make so much progress with free resources. And then you take it to the next level. It's just like anything in life, right? Like if you, I don't know, if you want to start playing fucking tennis, you're not going to buy the best shoes and the best racket and the best strings and the best balls. You're going to start off with whatever you have. And then once you understand that you love it, then your preferences start coming into play, right? I really like graphite rackets. I really like, rounder shape versus more oblong shape rackets. I really like harder strings versus softer strings. Same thing with trading. Like if you know absolutely nothing about trading, just start. How to trade? Just start asking ChatGPT how to trade. And if you're curious enough, then that will lead you down the required rabbit holes. And it's going to take years just to get to a point where you are breaking even from trading. Like that plateau period where I'm sure a lot of you intermediate traders are there, but that plateau period where you make money, you lose money, you make money, you lose money, your account's not really moving. Just to get to that period will take a couple years. Have you ever thought of opening your own prop firm? No, bro. Do I look like a fuckboy? Why are you so grumpy? I'm not grumpy, dude. I don't know. This is like teacher mode. I am just trying to make sure people are not doing the wrong thing. I'm not grumpy at all. Oh shit. Wait, are these dropping now? Oh, these are dropping tomorrow. This is what I'm looking at. The flu game 12s. All right, I want to see if there's a long here. No, I'm just not gonna sell you a dream, right? Even though it's in my interest, it would be in my interest, sorry, to sell you a dream. But I'm not. I'm gonna be real with you. Trading is very hard, and most people are not cut out for it, even if they think they're interested. It takes a level of obsession that I think is a bit too much for most people. Not because they won't put in the work, but because it requires work and there's the possibility of losing money. But investing, I think investing is easy. And I think those mistakes that people make um, can easily be fixed. And I think the work required for investing is a lot less than trading. But people still don't want to put in any ounce of work. I think there's a long here. Let me see. Where are we? Okay. There is high time frame divergence. ES made a higher low. NQ made a lower low. Do you think you can make a significant amount of money as a retail trader? Yeah. Yeah. I just think most people can't. But I think that if you were the obsessive type and you're 100% sure that's what you want to do, yes. I just think that um, you need to get off social media because you're going to see results or fake results of people living a certain lifestyle that is going to fuck with your mind um, while you're trying to make it. And you don't need that. What you need is to keep your head down and not look at someone else's results because those results, one, are most likely not real. And two, even if they are real, they're not yours yet. And you need to realize that it takes years just to get to a point where you are breaking even and not hurting yourself. Um, so there's a lot there, but I think ES is along here. So there's a lot there, but absolutely, I think one can make it as a retail trader. Let's see. So we took out London, took out Asia. Midnight's there, 9:30's there. We have high time frame SMT. And we have this 4-hour fair value gap. That I think we're going to. All right. So right now this is up 400 per contract. And I have my stop set to break even. And I want to see if we can get into that 4-hour fair value gap up there. We are in a macro right now, so I really want to see this expanding. We do have these equal lows down here, but my stop currently set to break even. So this is a risk-free trade that's up 500 per contract right now. And I want to see if we can get at least past London high into this 4-hour fair value gap. Up 600 now. Up 625. I might book it. Now that up 675. We took that high. Did NQ take that high? Oh, yeah. But NQ did not take London high. All right, we're back up. When NQ takes London high, I'll sell this. Boom, 675. NQ took London high, baby. For those of you wondering why I'm looking at ES, to judge my trades, why I'm looking at NQ to judge my trades on ES, it's because of the divergence that I look for, right? So the divergence is the thing that set up the trade for me. So if you look at NQ made a lower low and ES made a higher low, as you can see here, that is bullish divergence. That's what told me from the high time frame that longs are in play. And then it's up to me to look for an entry on the low time frame. And so during the macro, we created this inverse fair value gap. So once we popped above and came back down and tested 8:30 and midnight, that's where I went long. But NQ was stronger than ES. And so we had this high here, this white line, which is London high. So whichever one gets there first is where I'm going to take profit. So, yeah. For those asking, I day trade live every single day like this in the Discord. I go live at market open. So sign up below if you want to join me. But yes, for whoever was asking, I day trade futures mainly, and I swing trade options. Do you do Forex? No. I'm not interested in Forex. Nice exit there on ES. I think another long will set up potentially, but on a day like today, I'm okay playing for the 2-to-1 moves at sensible levels. So, we'll see if I can find another trade. But what a fire ass trade. Do you use level 2? No, I just use price action. Would you ever swing trade just shares? Sure, sometimes. Check out Mara? No, I'm not interested in miners, bro. I think NVIDIA could be along here. So we swept pre-market low. Oh, we got a retest of the opening print. Microsoft crazy value right now? I disagree. I mean, I think it's a buy here for sure, but clearly trading below all of these moving averages. Microsoft is one of the reasons why I thought we would hit a correction. When it comfortably trades like this, we've hit a correction every single time. What's on your nose? A breathing strip. Do you guys like never visit the store? Have you ever played sports? Look at this motherfucker. Asks me if he should buy Lucid. Bro, quality. Quality stocks, bro. Quality. You might as well buy Olive Garden. I think RTY is along here. Ooh. Actually. HIMS, yes, I think HIMS is a quality growth stock, but it's not a stock to put your entire portfolio in. This might be, I think this is a long on RTY to get to that level right there. I want to see if I could take a second long here. I took a long, I took a long on ES, which is the S&P 500. I might take a long on RTY, but that right there is the 4-hour fair value gap. So from a high time frame perspective, this is very tough. We need to get above that. So I'm personally not going to long here. If we get above this and then retest it, I'll long RTY. thoughts on Lily? Thoughts and prayers, bro. How many of you bought stocks here? I'm very curious. I want to know what stocks you bought. Yeah, TLT. Oh, wow. The 10-year dropped again. This, by the way, is what the administration wants. They want the 10-year to drop, and it is dropping. TLT has been a monster this year. AMD, I think, is decent here. Finally, I do think it can drop more, but below 100 is finally decent. NVIDIA, to me, I think that the chip stocks are potentially in trouble, but I think this is a buy for the long term. I don't know that you'll get a quick bounce. Apple, surprisingly, is the most resilient stock in the Mag 7 right now. Meta as well. I would say Meta as well. Amazon, I think, is dropping to the 200-day, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, here's my advice. Riot. No, don't buy Riot. Here's my advice. I think you guys should take your time, space out your buys, right? Too many people are trying to find the bottom as opposed to figure out what a good price for the stock is. Use ChatGPT or Grok, right? Like I showed you here. Just type into Grok, just say, run a discounted cash flow model on X stock and just read it, right? And try to understand it. And things you don't understand, Google them, right? You will learn like this over time, and take your time, figure out if the companies that you want to buy are worth it. And don't just look at ticker symbols like this guy's like Riot, or I don't know, some other guy was talking about Lucid. Like, why would you buy Lucid? Let's be honest here. Why would you buy Lucid? I would be very curious about your Lucid model, your Lucid view in terms of an investment. Now, if you're just trading, like if you're looking at Lucid and you're like, I'm going to buy calls here and sell them here, fine. But why would you buy Lucid as an investment? NQ digging into the 4-hour gap. Yeah, so is ES. I still, I like our buy, but RTY is getting above that 4-hour fair value gap. So I want to see how it reacts here. And I think RTY has a long to 2174.7. This might be the next thing I long here. Coinbase, from a valuation perspective, I think is decent below 200. But remember, it's beholden to Bitcoin's price, and Bitcoin, like I said, is going to get into the 70Ks, and we got there overnight. So I don't mind that. I just would not fill your portfolio with that, meaning that's the only thing you're invested in. But yeah, like I said, run a discounted cash flow model. So my advice is, don't pick too many stocks, right? People people start going after stocks like it's candy. Like, I'm going to get Snickers and Kit Kat and Reese's. Stocks are not bags of candy, okay? You should only be invested in very carefully selected stocks. And you should not buy too often. Meaning, I've seen people that were like, I'm dollar cost averaging it into Tesla at 380 and 375 and 350 and 325 and 300. Like, these are not, that's not the way it's done. No, I'm not looking to short. Toblerone is high quality candy. Well, I don't know if it's high quality, but it's good tasting. It's probably terrible. In the US, it's probably terrible quality. It probably contains a lot of palm oil. But in Europe, Toblerone's up there. How many stocks is reasonable to keep in a long-term portfolio? There's no answer for that. But if you're asking, then it's probably too many. Like, there's no way that you're bullish on that many stocks, right? Like, unless you run some sort of specialized fund. At some point, you're just investing in what you see online. You're not actually picking companies. Z looks like Shock G, the one who put the satin on your panties. Never knew what that can. What's up, love? How you doing? Well, I've been hanging, slanging, trying to do my thing. Oh, you heard that I was banging your homegirl you went to school with? That's cool, but did she tell you about your sister and your cousin thought I wasn't? Rap Tourette's. You remind me of that Lamborghini guy, Tai Lopez. Bro, Tai Lopez. Just because he used to hang around your mother's house every weekend when she would have him over doesn't mean that every guy you see looks like Tai Lopez. Homeboy's traumatized. Tai Lopez used to come to his house and clap his mother's cheeks every weekend. And now every guy he sees, like, you look like Tai Lopez. You look like Tai Lopez. He's telling the guy at the grocery store at Albertsons, you look like Tai Lopez. The guy doing his groceries like, what? Who the fuck is Tai Lopez, bro? I'm just here at my 9 to 5. Turns on the computer, sees another guy talking about stocks. You look like Tai Lopez. Traumatized. From the cheeks getting clapped that he heard coming out of his mother's room every night. What are you doing in your long-term portfolio? Dollar cost averaging, bro. Sent out an alert for Tesla this morning. It got right to my level. But I also don't think that this is the absolute bottom either. Like, I think, we are going to get violent relief bounces. The market has been beat up for, 5-6 days in a row. We're going to get violent bounces, and we could unwind some more to the downside for sure. Where do I come up with these jokes? I don't know, bro. People start taking shots at me. I'm just trying to provide you with some free good info and some free trades. So when people take shots at me, my mind turns into fucking Kobe Bryant, bro. I don't know. It's all fun. It's all fun and games, though. Julio Gutierrez says, that wasn't a diss, that's a compliment. Bro, shut the fuck up. You ever heard of a backhanded compliment? Come on, bro. Oh, I wasn't dissing you, man. It was a compliment, actually. All right. Not everyone was born in the 90s and 2000s. We used to snap. Yeah, I was born in the 80s. I was born in the 80s, so how could you blame me? I still listen to Wu-Tang and bump the shit out of Shady. What up, primo? Órale. Mexicano Robin Hood. Órale. NVIDIA running. Yeah, I mean, it better be running. Unfortunately, it's below its 200-day moving average, and I do not think this is the low. It is going to be volatile, but it is a buy. No lie. I already bought NVIDIA back when it dropped the first time from DeepSeek. My Turkish brother speaks Spanish now. I ain't Turkish, bro. I'm probably closer to Hispanic than Turkish. The fuck? You remind me of Jesus? Who's Jesus, bro? Come on. Like the real Jesus? Ooh, let me see something here. Thoughts on Google. Thoughts, bro. Lots of thoughts. Okay, I think I'm going to go long RTY here. Mitch Freeman says, I think you are Egyptian. That's a good guess, but no. He definitely has some Arab genes. I thought you said I was Turkish, bro. Turks are Caucasians. Sometimes Asian looking. Depending on where in Turkey. Albanian? Ah, oh, come on, bro. I'm too tan for an Albanian. I want to go long. RTY. Yeah, I can read Arabic. Doesn't mean I'm Egyptian. Are you a fan of Palantir? I'm not a fan of any stock, bro. We're not talking about the Dodgers and Giants here. I'm going to wait until the next macro and see if that sets up a long. So 10 minutes. Either it sets up a long or these indices get rejected here. SMCI? Yeah, I told you about the potential break in and a retest. But not for me. I'm not. It's going to be very hard to long this here. So not for me. If it was going to be a break and retest, it would have been from this area, which the day after the 10K statement ended up closing our positions here, but I'm not looking for another position here. Marco still looks weak to me. NVIDIA is having a nice bounce, but still below the 200-day, unfortunately. I don't think. Shauna McCullough, thank you so much for your donation to St. Jude's. Shauna, is that Irish McCullough or Scottish McCullough? I unfortunately think that there could be a potential short on some of these stocks. This is a major level for Palantir. And I think Palantir breaks down, by the way. I'm not a, it's not a secret that I shorted Palantir already. And I closed that short. So I'm not short. I wish I held it till today. It would have been up 1,000%. But I'm looking for another short here. I think Palantir gets to below 50. I wonder what options are like. Do I short the commons? No. Not on Palantir. When it was cheaper, yeah. When it was in the 20s and 30s, I did short Palantir commons, but right now, VIX long? No, bro. You got to be patient. VIX long only lucrative when it gets to that 14, 15 level I talked about. Shauna says Irish all the way. Nice. So if we go to March 21st, yeah, puts are expensive, man. Puts are expensive. Its current price is what, 83? So I buy the 85. Yeah, I'm gonna wait until it gets here. And potentially touches that 50-day moving average again in that fair value gap. Although it did touch, what is this low from the previous day? 84. Yeah, I'm gonna wait till it gets to there. But I think Palantir goes below this for sure. It visits the 100-day at 71, potentially the 200-day below 50. And you have this gap here between 42 and 46. And is this the election gap? Yeah. So most stocks, I think, visited their election gaps, right? Wow, so bright. Can you please do TA on AMD? No, I've done TA on AMD video after video. I've been telling you about that level right there on AMD, and we got to that level. That box that I drew there, I drew that months ago. So watch my previous videos to see why I said it would get in that box. But AMD, you need to justify its valuation. I don't think it's a bad buy here, but people are expecting it to act like Nvidia acted, and it won't. I think Palantir is the next trade I'm gonna do. Okay, so we're 3 minutes. What do you think about MSTR? I don't think about it. I think you're playing with fire trading MSTR. Or not, sorry, not trading, buying MSTR. I don't see why you wouldn't just buy Bitcoin. So on the 4 hour, we're rejecting off of this 4 hour fair value gap, unfortunately, which is not great. Same as ES, which is not great. Do we have divergence at the highs? 15. Yes. Wait, no. No, we don't. Actually, sorry, I take that back. Is it wrong to buy leaps now? Not how trading or investing works. If you're asking if it's wrong or a bad idea, then it likely is, right? You don't ask if it's wrong or if it's a good idea, if it was a good idea. If you don't understand it and it's going to cost you a lot of money, then it's a bad idea. So, yeah, in my opinion, I think the market has more left to drop. That's just my opinion. I'm not Nostradamus. Buying leaps in the midst of a correction as opposed to when it bases out can be dangerous. And the fact that you're asking, to me, indicates that you're not going to handle losing a shit ton of money very well. But again, these are all just my opinion. What percentage do you allocate long-term versus trading? I don't think about it like that. They're two different accounts. They have nothing to do with each other. When you swing options, how long is the expiry? Every trade is unique. Hi from Switzerland. Hello. The Swiss society is impressive, man. They grow up learning like 5 languages. Uh, what are the best trading resources on the Discord I just joined? Oh, welcome. Ask someone in there, bro. You'll get a response. It's a big community of friendly people, but they will likely tell you to start with the welcome here section, and that should explain most of it to you. But if you have a question, ask in beginner questions. Yes, I do like Palantir puts. What do you think about trading on automated strategies, signals on given stocks? You think that there's going to be an automated signal out there that's profitable and you're going to have it? Like, if that was the case, why would anyone need a job? Like, literally nobody would need a job today if you had access to that. Come on, bro. Common sense. I have that? Then why are you asking me? Use it, bro. Free yourself from the shackles of the world. Why are you asking me? Imagine that he had a bot that actually worked. But he's on someone else's stream saying, "Do you think I should trade using this?" No, motherfucker, you have a money printer at home and you shouldn't use it. Bro, if there was something that existed, I would lock myself up and just have it printing money, and I'd be on a boat in Lake Como. Why would I be online asking someone if I should use it? I'd be in Lake Como on a boat with the cheapest laptop that you could buy at Best Buy, just pushing enter on this automated thing while I sip a fucking Bellini. I wouldn't be at my job asking a random YouTuber if I should use this super secret automated trader that I have. People, man. Why are Palantir puts so expensive now? Because the company dropped like 40% in 3 days. It was 125 and it dropped below 80. This is interesting. I think gold looks like a long hair, boys and girls. What is the dollar doing? The dollar's rising. The dollar's about to drop. Okay. I wonder if I get filled here on gold before it rocketing back up. Why is Z so quiet? Because I'm fucking trading, bro. I'm not here to do stand-up. Oh no, what happened to the meltdown? The market rebounded 0.5%, and this fool's on here acting like he's gonna make everybody laugh. You want to know who bought Palantir at 125? That idiot. Do you still trade futures? That's what I'm trading. Can you cancel anytime? Yeah. Oh, you can't see the price? That's a good point. 1 second. There. Now I'm tiny. Guys, I moved the webcam. Chill out. Boo. Any opinion on Gremlin? I don't even know what that is, bro. People ask me about the shittiest stocks that they can find in the bottom barrel of the stock market. Gremlin. Why do you have a bandage in your nose? It's because your mother doesn't know how to shave down there. So she cut me up. That's why. Yeah, I don't know, Shauna. I have no idea. It's a breathing strip. If you get your fucking fat ass off the couch and do some sports, you'd see people wearing it all the time, but you've never seen anybody wear it. Damn. All right, this is going to go to my target without me. All good. I think gold is a multi-day long here. I think gold has found a bottom here. I might buy GLD calls because if you look here, this is the previous all-time high. We are now retesting it. This is a break and retest. Romar Industries, appreciate your donation, brother. Thank you so much. MP3 Fitness, appreciate your donation. Thank you so much. Regine, what's going on? Thank you, Julia. Futures versus options, pros and cons. This guy said, man, that is not cool. Bro, what? I'm just going to sit here and take pot shots? If someone wants to take shots at me, they're free to, bro. They're more than free to, okay? But you're going to get snapped back on, and that's perfectly fine, right? Like, if your parents didn't teach you that there's consequences for your actions, then I'm here too. And at the end of the day, we're talking about yapping on the internet, okay? So if you don't think it's cool that if someone snaps at me that I snap back, I don't know. I don't know where you grew up or what you were taught. It's all fun and games, bro. Okay, here's a breakdown: futures versus options. Futures trade 23 hours a day. Options don't. Options have very complicated things like Greeks, delta, theta, vega, gamma. Futures don't. Futures only have two options that you can engage with, right? You can either buy them or sell them. You can either buy them to long or sell them to short, just like a stock. That's it. You're not dealing with strike prices. You're not dealing with expirations. You're not dealing with Greeks. You're not dealing with implied volatility. So if I bought a SPY call, for instance, right? If I bought a SPY call, and let's just say say I bought a SPY call here and SPY just does this, that option is going to lose money. If I bought S&P 500 futures and it just stays flat, I don't lose anything because the price hasn't done anything. So futures trade much closer to stocks than options do, and they're not as complicated. And they trade 23 hours a day. And in the US, they're tax advantaged, meaning that 60% of your income is taxed as long-term capital gains, and only 40% is taxed as short-term capital gains. That's very different than options, which you're taxed at short-term capital gains all the time, unless you hold an option for longer than a year, which most people won't. So those are the major differences between futures and options. I personally use options for swing trading. I do not day trade options because, like I said, if I buy an option and it just chops around, that option is going to lose money just because it's subject to theta and vega, right? Whereas if I buy a future and it just chops around, nothing's going to happen. So for day trading, to me, futures are way more precise. For swing trading, if I'm holding a position over the course of days or weeks, I'm going to be doing it in options, especially if it's in individual stocks, because individual stocks don't have futures. So there isn't like Tesla futures or Apple futures, right? There are only index futures and commodity futures. So gold, silver, dollar, etc., and then S&P 500, NASDAQ, Russell, Dow. And then obviously you have the farm commodities like corn, wheat, pork bellies, orange juice, but I don't trade those. So that right there is the simple breakdown. This guy said, I agree, but don't lose your values. Bro, my values are, if you talk shit to me, I'm going to talk shit back to you. Those are my values. You have no idea who I am or what my values are. That's, I'm respectful to those who are respectful. Those are my values. At the end of the day, I'm just some guy on the internet, and I find it funny if people want to take shots at some random person on the internet, and they get butthurt that random person actually bites back. It's just the internet, bro. Chill out. They say things to me that they would never say to anyone in person, right? That's the nature of the internet. So those are my values, bro. But I'm respectful to anybody who shows respect. My default disposition is to be respectful. That's my default disposition. Why do you trade options versus the stock itself? Because if you're going to trade a short-term move, it would be crazy to do that on a stock that's priced $300. Like, how many shares of Tesla would you have to buy to make money from a short-term move? We're not talking about investing here, right? You're talking about trading. So if I bought 100 shares of Tesla, it would cost me $30,000. And if it goes up $10, then I make $1,000. And it would require $30,000 to make $1,000. If I buy Tesla options, I could do it with less than $1,000 and make $1,000. So it's leverage. But yeah, investing, I'm investing in the stock itself. That's very different than trading. What platform should you use to trade futures? Trade-Avate, TradeStation, Thinkorswim. I heard Webull has futures, but I would not trade on there. Appreciate you, Jeremy Jordan. Thank you. Default. Almost savvy. I'm not even gonna repeat what you said, but it's hilarious. It's hilarious, bro. All right, I think, unfortunately, this is not a good sign. Um, if you are long the market right now, this is not a good sign. Where did I draw that from? Oof. This is shortable for sure. This is shortable. NQ made a lower high. ES made a higher high. Juice Man says, I don't know how you deal with these questions. Practice, bro. I don't know. I've been on YouTube since 2018, unfortunately. Wouldn't it be a good time to purchase lead calls? As I told the previous person, if you're asking if it's a good idea to do anything, then it's probably not a good idea for you, because you wouldn't be asking if it was a good idea. You're throwing a lot of money at something that you most likely don't understand. So while I appreciate the question, automatically the question itself already tells me that you would not be comfortable with losing a fuck ton of money in the short term. So it's a personal decision. I'm not your advisor. But asking a random person on the internet if it's a good idea to do something probably means you got some more studying to do, and that's perfectly fine. Are there differences in how stocks are taxed in the US? Yeah, any stock that you sell before a year is short-term capital gains, and any stock that you hold longer than a year is long-term capital gains. But if I day trade a futures contract, even if I hold it for 1 minute, 60% of it is taxed as long-term. That's the beauty. Okay, so we came into a decent imbalance here. Yeah, that gold trade, man. All right. Well, had one good day trade on the S&P 500. I think there could be a short on Palantir soon, but I wouldn't enter it just yet. I do think that there are stocks to dollar cost averaging. Unfortunately, I don't think this is the bottom. I think this is going to last all year. But, you know, for the first 2 quarters of 2025, at least through March, April, I think it's going to be ugly. And we will see violent bounces, right? Like we will see bounces that go up. But the total unwind, I think, in my opinion, I don't think is over. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't DCA in stocks that are cheaper than they have been in a very long time. Yeah. Unfortunately, the gold long has passed me by. I wonder if I can take a crack here still. The only thing is that Atlanta Fed decided the U.S. entered a recession last week. Is that true? Let me see. That's big if so. I don't see that, guys. Where do you see that? Yeah, I don't know that I can take this here. I mean, we did not take London highs, so I still think it's a possibility. But this is what changed for me. You have these equal lows here, and that target at the 1 hour fair value gap. Today, market looks recovering. Can this be the bottom of the crash? Oof. Can it be? Yeah, anything can happen. But not how you should approach investing. Just find companies that you like that are undervalued and create a plan as to how much you're willing to put into each of them. But in my view, no, I think this is going to take a long time. The average correction has lasted 50 days, guys. That's almost 2 months. And look at the previous. This is just a like a pullback, but look at the previous one, right? It started December 10th. Everything was flying high. Then it tanks. Then it pops. Everyone's like, "Is this the bottom?" Then it tanks. Then it pops. Then it tanks, right? this lasted a month, and this wasn't even a correction. If you go back to August, this one started July 16th. Tanks, pops. Is this the end? Tanks, pops. Is this the end? Tanks all the way down. And yeah, this lasted from peak to trough was 3 weeks. Now everyone's talking about a bear market. Yeah, the difference is I've been telling you about this for a while. Probably a good time to DCA. Yes, on stocks that you like. But someone earlier was asking me about Lucid. I mean, imagine that you have a gift on some of these stocks and the one you choose is Lucid. All right, guys. It's about half an hour to lunch. We'll likely not take another trade until the PM session. Any swing trades I take, I'll send out. As always, any stock purchases I make, I'll send out, just like the ones I've sent out here. And yeah, appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for rocking with me. Leave a thumbs up on your way out. And for those of you in the Discord, I'll see you in the Discord. And if you're not, then I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Clap master.